Alright, as promised, we're going to make a review here of the DCS Commander. This is another unit that I use to run a lot of my trains. Don't get it confused with that remote commander. This is the base system that runs about $149 without a power supply, and it's about $230 with a power supply. You can find it for $200 with a power supply too. It'll come with the Z1000. You can basically use any power supply you want to use with it. If you want to save some money, Radio Shack sells a power adapter that goes with it. I believe the part number is 273311. It's a power adapter that's 18 to 24 AC volts. Of course, you'll set it to 18 to run this, and you'll need the adapter plug, and that part number is 273-344. Altogether, that power supply costs about $35, so you figure $35 for the adapter, $150 for this. You're out of about $180, and you can get something to run your MTH engines. Now, this system was more geared for HO. As you can see, it's an HO digital command system controller, but you can also use this to run your O gauge engines. It runs PS3 engines, all the new engines that MTH makes, and it runs the PS2 engines with the 3-volt board. And I can't stress that enough. It will not run older PS2 engines with the 5-volt board. The way that you can tell the difference, I got an engine here that's turned over, and I'm going to zoom in. Right there is the charging port, and it's rectangular, got 2 pins in it. If the bottom of your engine got that charging port, then the DCS Commander will run that engine. If it has a circle port, like what this is plugged into, or any other different type of charging port, then that's a PS2 engine with a 5-volt board. That's an older board, and it will not run off this DCS Commander. So that's just a known thing. It runs PS2 engines with 3-volt boards, not with the ones that have 5-volt boards. To start out, you got your keys here. Starting from the top, you got your DCS key. Of course, that's to get the DCS signal. You got your conventional. You got your add engines. That's you can add up to between 1 and 99 engines, even though I know this thing cannot run 99 engines, but that's how many you can add in there. You got your momentum key. You got your edit key, pass through, delete, and the reset key. Of course, that's to reset the unit and to reset the engines to factory or feature reset. So this unit does do both factory and feature resets to change the ID number in the engine if you're having problems. The other keys I described, of course, the edit key is to edit the number of the engine when you add it to the base unit, like I say, from 1 to 99. Next keys is your passenger freight announcements. You got your Doppler effect, your engine sounds you can cut on and off, headlights turn on and off, smoke unit turn on and off. Then of course your basic keys, bell, engine, whistle, horn, direction. You got your throttle, and then the select key is to select between the engines that you've already added to the base. Over here you got forward and reverse signals. That's the blowing of the horn. It blows the horn twice for forward, blows the horn 3 times for reverse. Your volume up and down, your startup and shutdown key, coupler slack key, lights, turn the lights on and off. All key, that's for all the engines to respond to the DCS command. STW is that train wreck sound key. Not really useful, but some people like that sound. Then you got your station STA select. That's station select. That's for subways and trolleys. You got the STA mode. That's also for subways and trolleys to run through automatic, manual, and alarm mode. And then you have A1, A2, A3. Those are auxiliary keys for HO engines and some PS3 engines. You got the rev up and rev down. That's the engine sound effects, where the engine is sitting still or running. You can rev up the engines to make it sound like it's going faster, or you can bring it down make it sound like it's going slower. Boost and brake, and then you got your front and rear coupler. For the boost and the brake, the way that works is boost is if you have the throttle set to, I don't know, whatever number you have it set for, 20. That's how fast the engine is going around the track. You hold the boost key and the engine will go faster, and when you release the key, it'll go back to whatever you have displayed on the screen. Will have a fast you have the engine going. Right now, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to add one of the engines, and the engine I'm going to add is this one over here. This one is the one that was actually hooked up to the remote commander and is not hooked to the base system yet. So I'm going to show you just how easy it is to actually add a engine to the DCS Commander. Put the camera down for a second. Bear with me. Hit that up. Alright, as you can see, we got this engine right here. I put it on the track, and we're going to get ready to add it over here to the Commander. Alright, I'm going to see the engine right there that I'm going to hook up. But before I set that engine up, I forgot to actually show you just how easy it is to hook this unit up. Go back a little bit. You can see you can use any power supply. The screw right in here is from 0 to 24 DC volts or 0 to 22 AC volts. That's for input to go here, or like I say, you can use the Z500, 750, or 1000, or the Radio Shack adapter that'll plug right in here, and then you'll get an output of 0 through 16.5 DC volts. Okay, with that being said, that's basically the reason why this thing is geared more towards HO. But like I say, it still can run your O gauge engines. Now, we got him on a track. It starts up in conventional mode. You go up, you press the DCS key. Now the DCS is showing number 26. Number 26 is one of my subway engines, but it is not on the track. That's the lowest number that I have set, so that's why that number showed up. Right now we're going to add this engine over here. All I do is press the add key, and you see it goes to number 1. I was like, that right there lets you know that this engine is now set and ready to go. All you have to do now is press the startup key. As you can hear, the engine starts right up. At this point, now that means that this engine, sorry, let me turn it down. Turn it down a little bit. Okay, at this point, that means that this engine is now set with this DCS Commander, and it will not run no more with the remote commander like I did in the previous video unless I do a factory reset on it. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to show you the things, some of the things you can do with this engine over here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit. You can see him here. I'm over there talking. I'm going to give my volume. And we're going to edit this. You press the edit key. You hold the edit key. You see edit start to blink in a minute. I always like to keep the number 1 free, so all I would do is probably just take some numbers and put 88. So you scroll this up. I'm going high. So you see how many numbers? 1, 2, 88. Hit select. And now that engine responds to number 88. Before we get started, before I start with this engine, we want to make sure that everything is okay with it. So I'm actually going to shut it down. And I'm going to actually hit E-stop to shut the power off. And disconnect the power here for a minute. E-stop will go away. I'll plug it back in. Gives me power. And once I press the DCS key, since there's no other engines on the track except that one, 88 should come up. And that's the engine. Press the startup key. And there you have it. It's just basically really just that simple to hook things up to this remote commander, the DCS Commander, and get things going and demonstrate some of the key functions here. The lights don't work with that engine. That part I know for sure, but the headlights do work. And turn the headlights on and off. You notice the symbol is gone. I press it back, and the headlight is on. And so if it had a smoke unit, that'll be to turn the smoke on and off. But this engine doesn't have the smoke unit. And like I said, got the passenger freight announcements.
How you coming there, DJ?
You press the key once again to turn it off. It's a certain sequence you gotta go through with that. I'm new at freight, so I really don't know how that works yet. But all you do is scroll it up. At 10. I'm gonna bring it back down. Bring it in reverse. Scroll it back. Bring it back into position where I had it. Quick stop, get the squeak brakes. Now, I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit. I will demonstrate this key here. You can hear the engines going faster. And then you bring it back down. Back down to a normal sound.